Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast where I'm joined by Chris Panteli from Linkifi. So, Chris, thank you very much for taking the time to come on. It has been a bit of time taking from messaging back and forward to get you on, but we're finally here, and great to have you on, dude. So, Chris, for anyone who's like, who the hell is Chris Panteli? Can you give us a wee bit of a background of what you've done or what you're currently doing and also what you've previously done to get to that journey?
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, thanks so much for having me, Craig. My name's Chris, co-founder of Linkifi. So we're like a done-for-you HARO and press outreach link building service. So essentially what we do is we'll onboard a client, optimize a profile, and then we'll just pitch HARO on behalf of the client, and we'll meet your link order, whatever you order, with us. So we've just celebrated our 1 year anniversary. So before that, graduated from university with a degree in economics when I was 21, and then natural progression was to take over the family fish and chip shop business for 15 years after that. And then about a year or so before the pandemic, I started a personal finance website, which did quite well, quite quickly. And I naturally found that the part of the sort of the SEO that I was good at and that I enjoyed was the link building, and in particular, the HARO link building. So along the way, I met my business partner who was doing guest post link building with his agency for his clients. And he just said to me, yeah, can you like take on a few of my clients and do some HARO links for them, which I did. That sort of took off and got quite popular. And then we formulated Linkifi last year, and been doing that, and it's grown pretty quickly and it's going pretty well. So yeah, all good.
Always good to hear. One question though, you're currently in Thailand just now. Why do people, and this is a genuine question, why do people who get into the SEO industry end up gravitating towards Thailand? What's the
I don't know. I was as part of our growth strategy early on, I was reaching out to some of the people that I'd followed. So Charles Float was one of the people that I'd followed. And I offered him to build some free links with our service, in exchange for a shout out or whatnot. And he said, you should come out to the conference that he was doing a couple of months ago. So I came out to that a few months ago, met with Charles, and then you end up meeting a load of other people. Your name got bandied around quite a bit as well. I know you've been out with a lot of those, a lot of that crew. And I just loved it. And so I've come back for a month just to, don't forget, I was in a fish and chip shop for 15 years, stuck behind a hot counter. So the freedom of a laptop does open up the world of travel.
Oh, it's amazing. And I've been out there myself and thoroughly enjoyed it. Sadly, when I say sadly, I'm married with a kid, so I can't travel often as maybe, you've got the freedom to do what you like out there, I'm sure. But it's amazing. And I think it's a great crowd, great bunch of guys. And it's just weird though that everyone just gravitates over there, or a lot of them do. You're just like, wow. Which is,
I don't know if it's necessarily the best decision with a young agency, because the time zones is a little bit difficult. Like the day starting at like 4 p.m, 5 p.m. I'm like hammering out emails at 11 o'clock at night because, that's like midday US time or whatnot. So it's getting used to.
At least you've got the all day to enjoy the sunshine and stuff like that, and working that tan. So prior to getting out there, you are a Midlands boy, as you said before, with an Aussie twang, guys. I don't know if anyone else can see it, but let us know in the comments below if you think it sounds like he's from the Midlands. But he's always been from the Midlands, born, grew up there, been there all that time.
Yeah, my dad's Cypriot, so I'm half Cypriot, but I was born and bred in Kidderminster, small town just outside of, like 40 minutes outside of Birmingham. So I don't know where this Aussie accent comes from. I'm going to try and put on a Brummie accent now and try and get my roots back.
Out of all of the accents in the world, that Jack Grealish accent is the most irritating ever.
Yeah.
You're probably fortunate to have lost it.
Yeah.
I think Jack Grealish is the one you watch and you're like, dude, come on, man. But anyway, enough about that. What we want to do is we want to talk about HARO and your agency. So let's start with the agency first and foremost. So, what does the agency do? I know it's going to be getting HARO links and all that kind of stuff, but is that all you guys do, or are there additional services or anything else you do, or is it solely you've niched right down into HARO and that's it?
Yeah, currently it's just HARO link building, but we also are in the process of offering 2 additional services as well. Once I think HARO links you probably have a maximum number of good HARO links in any one campaign that you could get. And I think once you've built, say, 10, 15, 20 of these super authoritative HARO style press links, you will need to look elsewhere for your link building strategy, because 99% of the time they're homepage links and they're on sort of big, broad news-based websites. So you do lose a bit of the niche relevancy, the topical relevancy, but they're important to have. You really need to have them. Your competition has them, so you need to get them, and they do wonders for your EAT and all of that. But we're good at guest posting as well, so we're going to offer that, extend that out to clients as well, and then we're also just finalizing our PR, our pure PR play link building packages as well. We're just trying to figure out exactly how to price it, and exactly how to position it in the current market as well, because PR and HARO work sort of quite well side by side, but you can get a lot more with a PR campaign, but it's sort of a spray and pray approach. So I need to figure out exactly best way to price it and best way to position it. But yeah, I think those are the 2 natural progressions for us, is guest posting and then PR campaigns as well, which will be hopefully coming to, towards the end of this year.
So you mentioned there that potentially you get 20 HARO links and then you have to get something else. A funny story. We found when I say we, I mean me and a group of friends found a chick who was doing HARO, and people were piling into her going, right, I want 50 links a month, and the girl was good, that like in your niche, and I'm not going to say what the niche was, but it was an obscure niche. She's just like, that's not possible. And the guy, like one of my friends, was like really pissed with her. He's like, she doesn't want my money, all that kind of stuff. Now, people obviously pile in and they always think volume. And I'm not sure if your clients and stuff like that think like that as well, or maybe they don't. But can you go into, I want to talk a little bit about, obviously, HARO help a reporter out. If there's no, like someone comes to you with an obscure niche and says, dude, I need 10 links a month. What is the likelihood of that happening? What can you promise people? Is it 3, 4? What's the kind of rough figure that you'd be able to give someone?
Yeah, sure. That sort of link velocity. We started with a monthly pricing model. We kept it at 2 links per month, with a minimum of like a 4-month campaign, which is more than doable. But like you said, it's very niche dependent, and then the more niche you get, the more difficult it is. So one of our skills is being able to broaden the scope of the queries, and match the expertise of the client and the client's website by bolstering the profile, even onboarding additional experts onto the website, which we have a service for as well, and then opening up the amount of queries. But in terms of, we currently have a 5 link or a 10 link package, and we're just completely upfront and honest from the beginning. Normally it takes 3 to 4 weeks for the first link to land, and we say a deliverable of, I think it's 3 months on the 5 link package and 4 months on the 10 link package. And we say it can take longer, because we're at the behest of the journalist requests. So if they're not asking questions that we can match the expertise to, then we can't answer. But what we do is we find ways of getting the attention of the journalist inbox for a client that's in a difficult niche, let's say. So an example could be we recently had a client in the pest niche, which I was really panicking when we took this site on, because I was thinking, oh my God, pest. This is all it's about, was pests, right? Pest control. And this was, I think this was in the depths of winter we took this client on. So if there was going to be pest queries, it would be the summer. So I was thinking, oh God, this is going to be a tricky one. And a few weeks went by and we didn't have much. And there was a lot coming in for things like mattresses at the time, mattress control, mattress choice selection, mattress maintenance. So we started pitching those queries, and in terms of from the perspective of a pest control expert, and why proper mattress cleanliness and hygiene and whatnot, can result in bed bugs, which is obviously a pest. So we got the first link on a big mattress website, big DR80, I think, millions organic traffic. Then a couple more queries had cropped up. One was pest specific on Homes and Gardens, I think, which is another huge website. We won that one. And then as the weeks went on, you just start finding the links start rolling in, the queries start matching up. And then if you just open your mind, which we have in our sort of control process, where we're assigning the queries to the writers, to the clients, and then to the writers, that journalists are interested to hear commentary that is slightly outside of what they're asking for, if it makes sense. And then, we closed that order out actually recently. I think it was a 10 link order, and I think we overbuilt with 12 links. So that went really well. We were really pleased with that one.
Yeah, you've got to think outside the box to get them. So obviously, people will come to you, they get HARO links. I think that part's fairly understandable. I've just had a look through your website there, and obviously not every website is going to be suitable for a journalist. They're going to look at it and go, who's this guy, claiming to be an expert? And you've got Harify, your website, and obviously you edit the profiles on there and all that kind of stuff. So what instances have you seen where potentially you've been able to try and pitch to the journalist has went, go fuck yourself, I'm not trusting what this guy's saying, because of maybe their website doesn't paint them in the best light? Is that a regular thing?
Yeah, sure. And with the promotion that we been doing early on, with the sort of influencers we were able to build links for, and they were able to reach out to their audiences, we have been approached by a lot of niche sites, and then quote unquote like dodgy looking niche sites. So niche sites owned by people that they just have a fake user profile on the website, no expertise. The more and more we move forward with this, HARO is looking, the journalists in particular, are looking for verifiable credentials, like LinkedIn profiles, blah, 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 blah. So when we get a dodgy niche site owned by a Filipino guy who is running a website claiming to be an expert in, we had an example, was a fluffy doodle, like a dog website. I think they're called Doodles or something, Poodle Doodles, something like that. This Filipino guy on the website, sort of no credentials. I mean, it lends itself perfectly to HARO, a sort of a dog pet website. There's loads of queries on animals, but they want vets, veterinary nurses, people with credentials. So what we do, one of the services we offer, we can instantly identify those websites of having no chance of getting quoted by journalists because they just don't have the expertise. So what we do, and what we did do, is we onboarded a vet. So we've got a small network of credentialed writers now, which is growing week by week, month by month, as we do this more and more. We are then able to commission 3 or 4 pieces of content from this vet, which we did. That content is uploaded onto the client's website under the authorship of the vet, with his about page on the website, bio, LinkedIn profile, blah, 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 blah. And then we have the express permission to pitch HARO under this vet's name to then win the quote and the link back to the website. Now, where this fucks me off is when the journalist digs in and finds the expert's other website, which is far nicer and flowery and proper, and we win the quote, but they link back to the writer's main website instead of the client's website. But c'est la vie. But yeah, we got some really nice links for this Poodle website, rover.com, and some other big websites as well. So yeah, it's good way to approach it.
So another thing out with, obviously the HARO link building service, you offer the kind of HARO masterclass where, and you said off air, people can do this themselves if they want to, or whatever. Just curious to what sort of things are in that, a teaser, so people will be watching this going, right, is he going to give it all away, or is he going to be giving us some bump, but we still have to use them? So what would you say to someone who thought like that about your HARO masterclass? Potentially, is he going to try and teach us the basics in order to sell to us? What is actually in there? Is it something people genuinely can do themselves?
Yeah, definitely. I know what you mean. Like, I don't. The way we pitch it is HARO can be done by anyone, and I'll go through everything that we do as an agency. I even give free access, lifetime access to our database of HARO websites. So we've pre-vetted all the websites, and that gets updated in real time as we continue to use HARO and new websites come on. So you'll be able to see whether or not a website is historically tagging links as do follow or no follow, whether or not, the website's metrics. So you want to know the DR, the organic traffic. You might see a query which is perfect. You've never heard of the website. It's going to take you 5 minutes to go to Ahrefs, look at the website, realize this is DR10 with 0 traffic, and think, fuck, what? That's pointless. I'm not going to pitch that. Or you can just quickly use our database and filter through those websites much faster. So we give access to that. And then I teach you how we do everything, how we set up profiles, how to position yourself as an expert, how to think creatively, how to respond to journalists, how to demonstrate your expertise in varying niches, go through a load of examples. So yeah, we give it all away. And the only thing we say is use our service is if you haven't got the time to do it, because if you want to win good links, then you need to dedicate time to HARO. There's 3 emails a day, 5 days a week, and you need to look through every single email, every single query in every single email, because, especially if you've got a more niche specific website, the pest one, for example, let's say, if you've got a broader website, like a personal finance website, a business website, where multiple queries each day are going to be definitely something that you could stand a chance at winning, then you can sort of glance more easily, maybe, an hour a day, have a look through any emails, send 2 or 3 a day. But the more niche specific your website is, the more time you need to give it. And that's what obviously that's what you pay us to do if you want to use our services. So we're not missing any opportunity. We're sending everything that we think that you could win. But you can definitely do this yourself. I mean, I built for my personal finance website in the early days, just doing it on my own, whilst also, writing the content and running a fish and chip shop. I won links, New York Post, New York Times, Forbes, money.com, Guardian, all just pitching, using everything that we teach in the masterclass. And also as well, there's a couple of interviews that I was able to do with some really big time journalists. So there's a New York Times journalist who uses HARO regularly. And another, I think it's the Chicago Tribune. She's a big journalist on the Chicago Tribune. And they did 25-minute interviews with me each, giving a perspective from the other side. So what the journalists are looking when you send them an email. So that's really insightful and worth a look as well.
Definitely. But I think the main thing that you say there is, can someone do this? It's a full-time job. That's the big thing. It's there's always a massive demand for services like this, because we only have a limited amount of time in a day. to do what we do. And even me as an SEO guy, I've never went down the HARO thing because it's too much of a pain in the ass to do on top of everything else that I choose to focus on. So that's interesting that you see that. The one other thing I want to touch on before we move on to the next part is you mentioned off air that I'm not sure if I'm going to give away a secret here or not, and please feel free to tell me to shut up. But you mentioned
I'm nervous now.
you mentioned that there was an additional step that might take a couple of minutes to get the do follow link rather than just maybe a brand mention. Obviously, you're not going to give your secret away and all that kind of stuff, but HARO, you're going to get a lot of people, and I've seen it on your FAQs. How many links are do follow? And I know you've said roughly 50%, but how many of those are actually just brand mentions? And what can we do? Or you've mentioned there, an additional little step. Does that step work like 9 times out of 10? I'm just curious.
Oh yeah, you'd be surprised, and it's frustrating that you have to take that extra step as well when you offer commentary. You would think that the link is sort of a thank you from the journalist or the publication, or as a credit that they've used your commentary. But I don't think it's necessarily like a vindictive thing that the journalists do, or I know certain publications have an absolutely zero link policy, so obviously we know which ones those are prior to pitching, so we avoid those ones. But then you also have publications that will only ever, as part of their SEO editorial policy, will only ever give no follow links. But you still want to win links from those websites. If you've got a gardening website, you want to get a link from homesandgardens.com, but they only give no follow links. So what we do is within the database, which we give away free as well in the masterclass, we have a column called follow up. So we know the publications which historically are receptive to follow-ups and are worth pitching, even if they either historically tag links as no follow, but a follow-up has a high likelihood of getting that turned into a do follow. And then more importantly, the publications which historically have a tendency to just not link, but with a follow-up will turn it into a link, which is the one that blows my mind, because you've done the hard work. You've done the pitch, you've been quoted, but they haven't linked to you. And it could be a huge website, right? So if you just leave it to your bog standard sort of weekly Ahrefs check to see if you've got a link, Ahrefs isn't going to pick it up. I mean, Ahrefs doesn't pick up 50% of the links anyway, so it won't pick up something that's not linked. So what you can do is, I'll tell you how we do it. It's pretty simple. We just do, we use Talkwalker, which is free, and Google Alerts, which is free. And the nice thing about HARO is you're going to be enticing the quote and the link to be the brand name and the person who's quoting. So in your alerts, make sure you put, say, Craig Campbell in quotation marks, and then the name of the website together without a space, and then with a space as well. And then just do a manual search daily. At the end of the day, pick the same time each day and just use those search operators on Google. Set the time on Google if you go to search tools and change the date to the last 24 hours. So for me, I would run a search, Chris Panteli, quotation marks, for last 24 hours. And then I'd run the name of the website that I'm seeing, again, with a space and without the space. And that's when you'll see, what Google's picked up. If they've mentioned you, I mean, it will pick up if it's been linked, but also obviously if it's just not linked. And then you can dive into that website. You can go, I gave that quote last week. They've included my quote and they haven't given me a backlink. Then you can go through the process of trying to get it turned into a link. So some websites will just never, ever, ever link. They won't respond to you. Nothing. You'll never hear anything. It's game over. You just have to accept, at least you've got a brand mention there, which is going to have some SEO value. But some websites, you just email the journalist directly. If when using HARO, they've responded to your pitch and said, "Oh, thanks for the pitch. I'm going to use your commentary." you've got the journalist's email address then. So the default HARO like anonymized email address, you actually see the real journalist address if they respond to you. So if you find that you've been unlinked mentioned, find the original email that you sent and see if you got a response from the journalist that said like, hey, thanks for this, let's say. If you have, then you've got the journalist's email. Email the journalist and say, hey, nicely, hey, you quoted me, thank you, but can you give me a fucking link, please? As nicely as possible. If they didn't respond to you, then that's when you need to do a bit of digging. So you can, there's one website which we use. Obviously, we're using bigger sort of PR databases now, but if you can use hunter.io, which isn't great, but you can also go on the website directly to see if there's like an editorial or corrections department email. And then Rocket Reach, I think it's called, is another one for journalist emails. I think you get 5 free searches a day. Try and find the journalist email, find the editorial or corrections department on the website. Email everyone. Don't be annoying. Be really polite. Say, I'm really grateful that you quoted me. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. But is there any way you consider, linking back to the website for credit for the quote that I offered? And yeah, I mean, we see 50% plus success rate on that, which is insane to me. So, but it's definitely worth taking the time.
I think, in my opinion, I don't claim to be a HARO expert, but these journalists are not SEO experts. They probably don't understand the value of a link, or they're a young member of staff that's just maybe not giving it a thought or whatever, in terms of like you say, it's something seen as some kind of credit to you, and they're probably just not giving it a thought that way just because they're new to the game or whatever. Is that an honest thing that you would agree
I
with?
would agree. Yeah, I would, especially, real journalists, they don't care about linking. They're trying to write the best article they can, and they're trying to enhance their article with expert commentary. The link is us SEOs, playing the game. It just surprises me that maybe not a lot of people are doing what we do on that additional step and trying to get it turned into a link. But when you see these articles, realtor.com is a big culprit for it. You'll see a realtor. We recently just won a quote on realtor.com, and it's got expert commentary from 6 or 7 experts, and they haven't linked to anyone. So I've done the normal route of emailing, but I'm surprised that the writer of that piece isn't getting an email from everybody in that article, and doesn't get an email every time they produce an article and don't link. But yeah, it's definitely not something that you should expect from a journalist, because that's not what they're there to do. That's us trying to, we're not offering the commentary because we want to be helpful or we want to, improve their article for their readership. We don't even care what they put. We just want the link. It could say blah, 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 and they just link. But, but yeah, it's worth taking the step, because especially if you're polite, you'd be surprised that they'll just come back and say, oh, sorry about that. Yeah, just check now. It's been updated. Yes, you've got it.
So obviously it's all going well for you. You're traveling around and all that kind of stuff. What does your team look like? I know you mentioned you've got a business partner, but obviously, like you mentioned, there's a lot of day-to-day stuff, whether that's looking at the HARO stuff, whether that's watching for Google Trends and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of this about. What size of team do you have? Are you and your business partner doing all of this yourself, or have you came to the point where you've got VAs or even maybe actual people that sit with you, employees that do this?
Yeah, well, we started obviously just the two of us, but now we're a team of 5 writers, me and my business partner, and then we've got a team lead as well who's now managing the day-to-day operations of the HARO process. So that's going well. And then we have a project which we've just started this year as well, which is we're building out 11 portfolio sort of websites that perfectly lend themselves to HARO. So we have a couple of VAs. Obviously, we're going to be hiring outsourcing the content for that. And the plan for that is we build 11 websites with 30 or so pieces of content on each, with 10 HARO links to each website. age them over the course of the rest of this year, and then we're going to sell them as sort of turnkey, pre-done starter sites that's got that press badge already built on it. But as far as the team goes, once we've got this team lead trained up, the next step is, if we grow any bigger, will be then to have a secondary pitching team. And then the guest posting as well is going to, as you scale, you have to get more people, don't you? It's mind boggling, but we're getting there.
It's amazing to hear, though, that in a short period of time, you've managed to obviously get a team, and obviously there's thoughts of adding additional services, additional teams. It's brilliant to hear. But obviously you've came from running a chip shop, so hiring staff and stuff's probably not a big deal for you. Whereas I think for me, entering the SEO space all those years ago, hiring staff, I'd never hired a person in my life, and it was thrust upon me. And but obviously using VAs and traveling the world is probably very different from hiring someone to come in and put batter on the old haddock there.
Cod in the Midlands.
Yeah. So it's a very, very different experience. But just curious, obviously you went away and done all this. What happened to the chip shop? Like, did you just give it up?
Yeah, we sold it. Yeah, we sold. It was a family shop, and we got out. Hard work. Good luck to the people that bought it. It's a good shop. It's in a good location. But we were growing too quickly on this that I was doing. I got diagnosed type 1 diabetes 3 years ago as well. So it's just the physicality of the job is this was a lot more fun. I mean, to be honest with you as well, from being in a business that's like physical bricks and mortar business is crazy to me. Talking about scaling and hiring and whatnot, like there's only so much you can do with like a shop. You can open your doors, you can sell to the people that live within the driving distance of your fixed location, and you can do a few promotions, maybe mix up the menu a little bit, but really that's it. Whereas this is like, it's the world, the whole world is your storefront, and it's been so interesting and fascinating, and I'm addicted to it. You can't keep me off it. So
well, it's still, even to this day, I still pinch myself, dealing with people from all over the world, and you're sitting in your bedroom or wherever, or on the beach or wherever you want to be. So it's a fascinating game, and it's amazing to see guys like yourself who have just come in and then basically been able to grow, sack off the family business. And I've got a friend actually who's a pilot, and he's now in a position where he probably makes as much money from SEO as he does being a pilot. But and it's given him a thing in his head now to go down this SEO route and sack off the pilot stuff or whatever. So that's it's mad how your world can change. But how did you? I know you said you had your finance website, and you went out to Charles Float's event and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, Charles is very, very well known. He's a Birmingham boy originally. Is that the connection where you went, there's a lad from Birmingham who's now out in Thailand? What was the connection with Charles there?
Charles was just on Twitter. To be honest with you, the first person was, I don't know if you know John Dykstra. He's a big publisher. Yeah. So he sort of gave us our first big break. He's a great guy. I'd been chatting to him, I think like a year before. Just people always tell you, if you're gonna try and network, you start off just by chatting. But I mean, I'd naturally just been chatting to him, and then we'd started this service. And I remember thinking, one good thing we could do is reach out and just offer someone just a couple of free links, just at least just to see, what we're like, what we can do. And he came back to me and he said, build me a few free links, then I'll take you up on that. And if it's any good, I'll let you know. So we did. He was pleased. We were looking forward to doing like a promotion with him, and he came back and said, can you do like 12 more of my sites? So that was like the big like right, okay, let's do that. So we took that on, and then he did promote us as well to his list, and that was like the next sort of zoom. And then Charles as well. Charles is really gives a lot away for free, and he responds as well, like you do. As you get these people in the industry that if you say something worth saying and they reply to you, it's just nice to have a chat. And he offered. Well, he mentioned about his conference. So I'd just been out to one in Cyprus, I think like a month before that. But I said, oh yeah, I'd love to come to that. Met him at that one, and I think we built him a few free links as well. And then he did a shout out to his list. I mean, it's like probably the only industry in the world where people genuinely do just like help each other out. Like it's competitive, but people will help. It's crazy.
There's a lot of good people in the industry, and it is what it is. But the event you went to in Cyprus, it wasn't a adult conference, was it, by any chance?
No, it was just a really small mastermind by I don't know if you know Alexandra from a Digital Olympus. She just did a small she just did a small. That's it. Yeah. She just did a small mastermind there. That was really, really good, actually. Really, a couple of days, just really useful.
There's a fun fact. Alexandra Takalova many years ago gave me my first ever opportunity to speak publicly. So
really?
Great person. I've known her from her same Rush days. She used to work for well. So
she's really nice. Yeah, really
nice.
good. Yeah.
And I know a few of the other guys that were at that event as well. Milos, the Polish guy.
Milos, yeah. I was in Thailand with him for Charles Float's thing. Yeah.
He was out there as well. Yeah. Easy guy, man.
Yeah.
But I was just curious to the event you were at in Cyprus, but networking with these type of people, obviously Charles's was a mastermind as well. Have you actually been networking at conferences and whatnot?
Well, I'm going to when Charles's was mastermind, he did do a talk as well, and then we networked and stuff after. But I'm going to SEO Mastery from Thailand over to Vietnam next weekend. Mad Singers event. So that's probably the biggest one I'll have been to. So we'll see how the sort of networking goes. But it's difficult. You got to like present yourself to people and then not sell. But I mean, that's not why I go. Oh, it's if you just speak to someone and they give you some advice that you can actually use, then it's worth every penny, because a throwaway comment can make the biggest difference to your business that someone just says in passing comment.
It's again, Mads' conference will be great. There's some great people there. I was actually also supposed to be there, but I had another speaking gig in Dubai next week, so I couldn't make it on the exact same fucking dates, because the plan was to go to Mads's or go to Dubai, then go to Mads's event, or vice versa. But the dates didn't work out. The events are on the same day. But I think going to these things, like you say, a throwaway comment or just a discussion, or even taking inspiration from some of the guys out is massively helpful. Or, like you say, building relationships with the likes of John Dykstra or Charles Float, who've then went on to help push you, is also where these things happen. Obviously, you've been able to make it happen, given some free stuff, but it's I can't speak highly enough about going to events and stuff. It's where the money's at, dude. So massively gutted I'm not going to be there.
Are you going to go to Chiang Mai at the November?
Yeah, I'm speaking there. So looking forward to it. Yeah.
I'm going to try and come to that then. Maybe I can shake your hand at that one.
Chiang Mai, I went there 2018 to speak, and what an event! Not even just the speaking side of it, just the people you were with, the parties. It was an 8 days I was there for, networking, talking SEO all day. I can't speak highly enough of that. And the weird thing is, the people I met in Chiang Mai, there was Indians, there was people from America, there was the amount of people that all just go to Chiang Mai for that event is frightening. But sadly, it's been off for the last few years with COVID. But good that it's back. Looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it could be a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to come to that then. That'll be good. Yeah.
On back to Linkifi before we do wrap up. Is there anything else you want to talk about from a Linkifi perspective? Anything we didn't cover off there?
No, I think we covered it all. But yeah, like you said, if you've got if you want to learn how to do it yourself and you're a bit unsure on how to approach it, then the course is definitely worth doing. I can give you a discount code as well, Craig, if you want to whack it up on the channel, maybe, or give it
under the video
on the comments. Yeah. And then if you don't have the time but you've got the budget, then you can reach out to us and we can have a chat, and it's something we can do for you. And we found as well with these high authority like news links as well, be it no follow, do follow, when you get them, you'll start to see improvements in traffic relatively quickly, especially if we land them over 2 or 3 months. This is what we've noticed recently with clients. It does bolster your sort of positioning in the SERPs, and we've also noticed that you get pages. This is with our own sites as well. Pages start getting indexed a little bit quicker and stuff. If you get 2 or 3, just even 2 or 3, 4 of these links that can just make that like a noticeable difference. You can start seeing activity in Search Console graphs, and you can just, it has that sense of movement happening. So I definitely think there's a place for these HARO links in like a holistic link building strategy.
I think you're 100% on the money there. I think you've got to get links from as many different places as you can, and getting high authority newspaper links. It's never done me any harm. So I like to diversify. You don't want to just do a bunch of guest posts or a bunch of this, that, and the next thing. It's good to mix it all up and get some of the good stuff. So
that's it.
But so people just reach out to you through the website. They can book in, get a call with you, and see what.
If you want to buy, there's a pay link on each package, 5 or 10 link package. I'll give you a discount code as that as well, Craig, which you can give a 20% off discount code. I think there's a payment plan option on the 10 link package as well, so you haven't got to pay all at once. I'll give you a discount code for the course and for the Linkifi packages as well. But if you want to have a chat, if it's something that you're not sure about, or you want to, have a bit more of a discussion on what site you've got, maybe you've got multiple sites, you want to do a custom order, we can talk about that. Or even if you just want to know sort of the process, what sorts of links we can get, more than happy to have a chat. There's a Calendly, link widget at the bottom of the website. Just book a call through that. I just have to remember the time zone difference, so try not to make it too late, or where I'm 7 hours ahead. Or be my business partner that picks up the call.
Fair enough. But I want to thank you for coming on, Chris. It's always a pleasure to speak to people who are up and coming in the industry and doing good stuff. And
thanks, Craig.
It's been a pleasure hearing your story.
Yeah.
And all the links, guys, are below, including the discount code that Chris has just mentioned. So make sure you do reach out to him and talk to him about all things HARO. And if you don't have budget, go and get the training course. The link is also below. But appreciate your time, Chris, and hopefully catch you in Chiang Mai.
Yeah, thanks, Craig. It's been awesome. Cheers, mate.